You ever been mad and all of a sudden dropped a bomb, bah, that just made the room go quiet? Or said something that moments later you thought to yourself, fuck man, I should not have said that. Or even if you've never felt regret, have you ever said something that wasn't necessary and that made things worse on the long term? Well, I have, and I sometimes continue to do it, but there are three things why we do this, which I've worked out, and hopefully me telling you these reasons will be a further incentive not to do them, because you will realize the reason we do it is just silly. As I said, there are three main reasons, so I'll create three scenarios for better perspective. Now of course bear in mind that there are times where you shouldn't remain in silence, so as I go through these scenarios, think to yourself, alright, saying that thing was not the correct action. Reason 1, relief. Let's say that a familiar or a close friend is teasing you about a game that you're playing. They don't know this, but they are actually getting through your skin. Little by little, as your patience is starting to run out, you are building up this anger inside of you. And then you decide to lash it out with a comment that you know they won't take well. Maybe it's just as playful as their comment, but they're just awful at taking insults. Or maybe it's something else. Point is, you knew that what you were about to say was going to be wrong, or at least make things bad. Maybe what they're saying is constantly wrong and you're the one that needs to put up with everything. But we're talking about you and how you can become better. So do not fret the mediocreness of others yet. Let's focus on you now. Your patience runs out and you leash out this one comment that just isn't the worst thing ever, but nonetheless it tipples them over and it makes them sad or angry and they carry on, and you've exchanged, so now there's an exchange now. It's going back and forth. Yes, you know, the whole turn the other cheek. I don't believe in that. If somebody keeps slapping you, well, retribution. But if we're talking about inner peace and becoming more powerful in the heart, we ought not to seek that relief from saying something back, but rather being bigger than that and thinking about it with humor, thinking, look, they insulted me, whatever, maybe I am performing wrong, maybe this, maybe that. I'm gonna laugh it off from the heart, not pretend, not keep it inside, but move on really, and not seek relief from endurance and then letting it out, but rather seek relief from the fact that you realize, hey, it's not that serious. Reason 2, acknowledgement from others. Now this bespeaks a lack of confidence in yourself. You want others to notice you. Maybe you're signaling there's somebody of higher social status or higher authority in the room, and so you want them to acknowledge you, whatever. And you may say something unnecessary, you may say something that makes you look like a snob, like you've got a big head or whatever, and you do yourself less favors. This could be, for example, let's say that it's a group of guys, right, you've recently met and you're hanging out, and there's some girls as well, and you're talking about relationships, and you may be the least experienced in the group or something of the sort, and they're now kind of teasing you for that. And then you say something like, well, you wouldn't believe the girl I met last week or whatever, and you don't make an effort to make it all funny or to make it important, but rather just a display. You're showing off and you're talking about something intimate, or you're talking about something like that in a way that just makes the room slightly more comfortable because you were seeking that acknowledgement. And also, if you've ever been in a situation like that, you see that that person then radiates such a lack of confidence because they are seeking to be like, guys, no, me too, I also get vagina, right, or whatever. And this could be with anything. This could be with gym progress, like lifting, whatever, with I don't know, grades. It could be with anything. Seeking acknowledgement, saying, guys, I'm good too. I may have messed up like recently, but I'm good too. It is not a problem to sometimes be behind in some things. It is not a problem to sometimes say, you know what, I may be the least experienced or in whatever regards in the room. So if you don't want to actually make things bad, I wouldn't say worse, because things aren't bad just because you have less. Matter of fact, if you're surrounded by people that are better than you in some regard, be happy about it. You can grow more. But if you don't want to make things bad and display a lack of confidence, then don't start trying to justify yourself and trying to make yourself more exalted than you really are. And don't be scared to compliment other people who are better than you. Matter of fact, be free in doing it, and not in a way of like, you know, butt sniffing or anything like that, or rubbing your hands or trying to plot, but simply be free. I remember having a friend, which I personally thought was quite attractive, you know, whatever, and we would hang out with him and he'd always bring our good points, right, like the rest of the boys, whatever. I never thought of him as somebody that was like lacking confidence, and because of this, he never struggled to getting girls back in the day. Of course, I'm a religious man, I don't do that anymore. And that came from a place of freedom. He didn't seek acknowledgement, he simply celebrated the fact that other people were handsome. It wasn't like, oh bro, you're so good looking, I'm so ugly, I wish I was more like you. It was like, man, you know, I'm not too happy with my eyebrows, but fuck, you got some nice eyebrows. right? Like something random. Or you don't even need to put yourself down. Like, boys, you guys are handsome. No wonder you get girls, whatever. Do not seek that acknowledgement. You will become a more confident to the eyes of others and to yourself. Now, the final one is a bit of a mixture. It is because you're doing it out of spite, and you're doing it because you want to exalt yourself and you want to feel important. It's essentially one in which you want to elevate yourself and put others down. It has no real name, so let's just call it feeling of importance. Let's say that you are playing League of Legends. Yeah, I know. And then you're playing in a party, right? And then your teammate comes to your lane and then starts feeding, and then you feed, and then your lane is super fed and you're having a really bad time because now they are killing you over and over again. And so now you're like, screw this guy because he's flaming you and you're making fun of you. And you're saying to yourself, well, I'm gonna get back to him. I'm gonna pray and I'm gonna hope on his downfall, and I'm gonna make sure that he has a bad game no matter what. Maybe you bet him, maybe you tell him, hey, come. When it comes to fight, you just run away. He gets killed. Things of the sort. You can blame him for your lane being fair. Things of the sort. You may then say a comment to directly punish him. Man, you're trash. You're so bad, bro. Don't ever come to my lane again. Things of the sort. These may sound specific, because it is. I was doing this a few days ago, and I looked back and I was like, man, I was pissed off, I was angry, he was trash talking all the fucking time, but I shouldn't have done that. This came from just a feeling of importance, to make myself be like, yeah, I am the better player, he doesn't beat me, right? Ego and arrogance come into play. In many situations, people will have delusion as well. They will say things that weren't really as they were in reality, and you may feel the urge to want to correct them. But if you make a person try to explain themselves to you, or you make a person try to rectify their errors, it will just grow them to despise you more. And while you shouldn't allow bad behavior, look at your intentions carefully. Are you doing it out of spite towards them, or to help them in growth? In that case, direct your words in such manner. Do not insult their character. Do not be too much, right? Do things adequately. I made a cool server recently with people trying to become better. I hope to see you there and encourage each other up. Strive to be 1% better every day, and much love. Quick reminder to fix your posture and take deep breaths into your diaphragm from your nose.